Charlie has spent 20 years perfecting his craft, working with antique hewn beams. But he's never had a chance to hew a log by hand.
Today's gonna be a fun day. I'm gonna get to do something that I've never got to do before. I got a guy named Jack, it's an expert in hewing logs. I've always wondered how our ancestors done it, how they took something round and hewed it into something perfect. But I think if one man can do it, another man can do it. I hope I don't embarrass myself and it take me a week to hew one little log out. How you doing?
Good. Charlie.
Yeah.
Jack.
Nice to meet you, Jack.
Nice to meet you. I hear you've got a fun day planned for us today.
Yeah, I've never hewed a log before, and I've been doing this for 20 years. I spend a lot of my time tearing down these old barns, and that's what we do for a living, cabins, barns, and I'm very familiar with hand-hewn beams. That's what I deal in.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to hew a log out.
Well, I've never done this either, but what I do actually is I take logs that have already been milled and squared, and all I do is just hand hew them to give them that look.
Yeah.
But I think I've got a good idea of how they done it, and I'm looking forward to tackling this project. I really am. Now, I don't know how much fun it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of hard work, but we're going to see. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Now, I've got the tools that I understand they used. We'll do our best. We'll see what we can do, sir.
Yeah. All right, well, grab your tools and let's get started.
All right, sounds good. All right.
Before the invention of sawmills, logs were hewn with basic hand tools: the crosscut saw, broad axe, and the adze. These same tools have been used for thousands of years to make round logs square.
Well, here we go, Charlie. Let me show you what we've got here.
Yeah, show me these tools.
What we're working with. Now, of course, I know you're familiar with the crosscut saw.
Yeah.
And my understanding was what they would do is they would cut down through the log the same depth, and then take the axe and then knock those out, and then take what I use, the adze, and then go over that and then smooth it out as level and equal as they could get it.
That thing don't look real sharp.
Yeah, I'm sure they were a lot sharper than that when they used them.
Jack's brought me all the old tools to use. They look fun. You know, some of those axes. I love busting wood, and I love swinging a hammer. It's a very hot, muggy day. I'm sweating just thinking about it, but I would imagine the first step's going to be establishing a straight line. I must have took out 1,000 hand-hewn logs, and every time I take one out, whether it's a log or a beam, I'm always impressed with how straight and how beautiful they are. I'm trying to establish some way of getting a straight line so I know where to start hewing.
Charlie calls on a little basic geometry to prep the log.
So all we gotta do is take this off, this off, this off, and this off. And there is a square 6 by 10. Should be. Looks pretty square to me. Go right here and take some of that bark off. Or the bark off this one section. So I've got something straight to go off of. If a bark is hard to get off, I wonder how hard it's gonna be to hew. Using this thing is tiring, and I hadn't even started hewing yet. I want to strike a line. I'm trying to keep this thing straight. I think we need something to chop to or to go off of. So I'm gonna see if I can't get a line struck right there.
Yeah, we'll just figure it out as we go.
Well, normally I would take this log to a sawmill and they'd saw this stuff right off. But we're doing it old school today. Let's roll it along. All right.
Here we go. Not the sharpest thing in the world, it's sharp. Down to your line. What about you?
There's our first section cut by him. Well, we've worked our butt off. We've got 8 inches of log on one side.
I tell you what, we're both sweating like two billy goats in a hot pepper patch, ain't we? What they did, they'd take the broad axe like this, and they'd cut it off like that right there. Then they would come like this right here, and then smooth it up. The difference between mine and one they used to use is this. Theirs didn't have the swivel and the hole drilled in it.
Wow.
Theirs was just a straight Well, whoever come up with that innovation, you know, this was come up with when people started simulating it. That kind of flips and gives you that extra to knock the wood chip on out of it instead of having to muscle it out where it wasn't that way. So, and we, of course, when we hew it, we can get that little saw mark out of it. You've got that look like that right there. See? That's what we're getting. We're making that round log square.
Let's do away with that handsaw. We know how it works.
We know how it works now, don't we?
Charlie and Jack now have a clear understanding of what their ancestors faced, and they decide to skip a few steps.
Chainsaw definitely made it easier. I bet if the old timers had one of these, they'd be happy.